Brought to you by WikiVD Documentaries. 50 Cent. Curtis James Jackson III, known professionally as 50 Cent, is an American rapper, actor, businessman, and investor. Born in the South Jamaica neighborhood of the borough of Queens, Jackson began selling drugs at age 12 during the 1980s crack epidemic. Although he left drug dealing to pursue a musical career, in 2000 he was shot 9 times. After Jackson released the compilation album Guess Who's Back? In 2002, he was discovered by Eminem and signed by Shady Records, Aftermath Entertainment and Interscope Records. With the aid of Eminem and Dr. Jackson became one of the world's best-selling rappers and rose to prominence with East Coast hip-hop group G-Unit. In 2003, he founded G-Unit Records, signing his G-Unit associates Young Buck, Lloyd and Tony Yayo. Jackson had similar commercial and critical success with his second album, The Massacre, which was released in 2005. He released his fifth studio album, Animal Ambition, in 2014. And is working on his sixth studio album, Street King Immortal. He executive produces the show Power, which airs on Stars. During his career, Jackson has sold over 30 million albums worldwide and won several awards, including a Grammy Award, 13 Billboard Music Awards, 6 World Music Awards, 3 American Music Awards, and 4 BET Awards. He has pursued an acting career, appearing in the semi-autobiographical film Get Rich or Die Tryin', the Iraq War film home of the brave and righteous kill. 50 Cent was ranked the 6th best artist of the 2000s and the 3rd best rapper by Billboard. Rolling Stone consider Get Rich or Die Tryin' and In Dark Club to be in the lists of 100 best albums of the 2000s and 100 best songs of the 2000s, at numbers 37 and 13 respectively. 1975–97, early life. Jackson was born in the borough of Queens, New York City, and raised in its South Jamaica neighborhood by his mother, Sabrina, a drug dealer. Sabrina raised Jackson until she died in a mysterious fire when Jackson was 8. After his mother's death and his father's departure, Jackson was raised by his grandmother. He began boxing at about age 11, and when he was 14 a neighbor opened a boxing gym for local youth. When I wasn't killing time in school, I was sparring in the gym or selling crack on the strip, Jackson remembered. During the mid-1980s, he competed in the Junior Olympics. I was competitive in the ring, and hip-hop is competitive too. I think rappers condition themselves like boxers, so they all kind of feel like they're the champ. At age 12, Jackson began dealing narcotics when his grandparents thought he was in after-school programs and brought guns and drug money to school. In the 10th grade, he was caught by metal detectors at Andrew Jackson High School. I was embarrassed that I got arrested like that. After I got arrested I stopped hiding it. I was telling my grandmother, openly, I sell drugs. On June 29, 1994, Jackson was arrested for selling 4 vials of cocaine to an undercover police officer. He was arrested again 3 weeks later, when police searched his home and found heroin, 10 ounces of crack cocaine and a starting pistol. Although Jackson was sentenced to 3 to 9 years in prison, he served 6 months in a boot camp and earned his GED. He has said that he did not use cocaine himself. Jackson adopted the nickname 50 Cent as a metaphor for change. The name was inspired by Kelvin Martin, a 1980s Brooklyn robber known as 50 Cent. Jackson chose it because it says everything I want it to say. I'm the same kind of person 50 Cent was. I provide for myself by any means. 1998–99 Beginnings. Jackson began rapping in a friend's basement, where he used turntables to record over instrumentals. In 1996, a friend introduced him to Jam Master Jay of Run DMC, who was establishing Jam Master Jay Records. Jay taught him how to count bars, write choruses, structure songs and make records. Jackson's first appearance was on React with Onyx for the 1998 album Shut 'Em Down. He credited Jam Master Jay for improving his ability to write hooks, and Jay produced Jackson's first album in 1999. After Jackson left Jam Master Jay, the platinum-selling producers Trackmasters signed him to Columbia Records. They sent him to an upstate New York studio, where he produced 36 songs in 2 weeks. 18 were included on his 2000 album, Power of the Dollar. Jackson founded Hollow Point Entertainment with former G-Unit member Bang M. Smurf. Jackson's popularity began to grow after the successful, controversial underground singles chart, How to Rob, which he wrote in a half-hour car ride to a studio. The track comically describes how he would rob famous artists. Jackson explained the song's rationale: "There's 100 artists on that label. You gotta separate yourself from that group and make yourself relevant." Rappers Jay-Z, Corrupt, Sticky Fingers, Big Pun, DMX, Wyclef Jean and the Wu-Tang Clan responded to the track, and Nas invited Jackson to join him on his Nostradamus tour. Although How to Rob was intended to be released with Thug Love 2 days before he was scheduled to film the Thug Love music video, Jackson was shot and hospitalized. 2001 shooting. On April 24, 2000, Jackson was attacked by a gunman outside his grandmother's former home in South Jamaica. After getting into a friend's car, he was asked to return to the house to get some jewelry. His son was in the house, and his grandmother was in the front yard. After Jackson returned to the back seat of the car, another car pulled up nearby. An assailant walked up and fired 9 shots at close range with a 9mm handgun. Jackson was shot in the hand, arm, hip, both legs, chest and left cheek. His facial wound resulted in a swollen tongue, the loss of a wisdom tooth and a slightly slurred voice. His friend was wounded in the hand. They were driven to a hospital, where Jackson spent 13 days. The alleged attacker, Darryl Baum, Mike Tyson's close friend and bodyguard, was killed 3 weeks later. Jackson recalled the shooting: "It happened so fast that you don't even get a chance to shoot back. I was scared the whole time. I was looking in the rearview mirror like, oh shit, somebody shot me in the face. It burns, burns, burns." In his autobiography, From Pieces to Weight, Once Upon a Time in Southside Queens, he wrote, "After I got shot 9 times at close range and didn't die, I started to think that I must have a purpose in life. How much more damage could that shell have done? Give me an inch in this direction or that one, and I'm gone." After using a walker for 6 weeks, Jackson was fully recovered after 5 months. When he left the hospital, he stayed in the Poconos with his girlfriend and son, and his workout regime helped him develop a muscular physique. In the hospital, Jackson signed a publishing deal with Columbia Records before he was dropped from the label and blacklisted by the recording industry because of his song, Ghetto Cran. Unable to work in a U.S. studio, he went to Canada with business partner Shah Money XL. Jackson recorded over 30 songs for mixtapes to build a reputation. In a Headquarters interview, Mark LaBelle of Shady Records A&R said that Jackson used the mixtape circuit to his advantage. He took all the hottest beats from every artist and flipped them with better hooks.
They then got into all the markets on the mixtapes, and all the mixtape DJs were messing with them. Jackson's popularity increased, and in 2002, he released the mixtape Guess Who's Back. He then released 50 Cent Is the Future backed by G-Unit, a mixtape revisiting material by Jay-Z and Raphael Saadiq.
2002-06, Rise to Fame. In 2002, Eminem heard Jackson's Guess Who's Back CD, received from Jackson's attorney. Impressed, Eminem invited Jackson to fly to Los Angeles and introduced him to Dr. Dre. After signing a $1 million record deal, Jackson released No Mercy, No Fear.
The mixtape featured one new track, Wankster, which appeared on Eminem's 8 Mile soundtrack. Jackson was also signed by Chris Lighty's Violator Management and Shah Money XL's Money Management Group. Jackson released his debut album, Get Rich or Die Tryin', in February 2003. Rolling Stone noted its dark synth grooves, buzzy keyboards, and a persistently funky bounce, with Jackson complementing the production in an unflappable, laid-back flow. It debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200, selling 872,000 copies in its first 4 days. The lead single, In Our Club, set a Billboard record as the most listened-to song in radio history within a week.
Interscope gave Jackson his own label, G-Unit Records, in 2003. He signed Lloyd Banks, Tony Yayo, and Young Buck as members of G-Unit, and the game was later signed in a joint venture with Dr. Dre's Aftermath Entertainment. In March 2005, Jackson's second commercial album, The Massacre, sold 1.14 million copies in its first 4 days, and was number 1 on the Billboard 200 for 6 weeks. He was the first solo artist with 3 singles in the Billboard Top 5 in the same week, with Candy Shop, Disco Inferno, and How We Do. According to Rolling Stone, 50's secret weapon is his singing voice, the deceptively amateur-sounding tenor croon that he deploys on almost every chorus. After the game's departure, Jackson signed Olivia and rap veterans Mobb Deep to G-Unit Records, with Spider Lock, MOP 40 GLOCC, and Young Hot Rod later joining the label, who all eventually departed the label.
Jackson expressed an interest in working with rappers other than G-Unit, such as Lil Scrappy of BME, Ol Cool J of Def Jam, Maze of Bad Boy and Freeway of Rockefeller, and recorded with several.
2007-09, Curtis and Before I Self-Destruct. In September 2007, Jackson released his third album, Curtis, which was inspired by his life before Get Rich or Die Tryin'. It debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200, selling 691,000 copies during its first week. On the September 10, 2008 episode of Total Request Live, Jackson said his fourth studio album, Before I Self-Destruct, would be done and released in November. He released OK, You're Right, produced by Dr. Dre, for Before I Self-Destruct, on May 18, 2009, and was scheduled to appear in a fall 2009 episode of VH1's Behind the Music. On September 3, 2009, Jackson posted a video for the Soundkillers Phoenix-produced track, Flight 187, introducing his mixtape and book. The song, with lyrics inspiring speculation about tension between Jackson and Jay-Z, was a bonus track on the iTunes version of Before I Self-Destruct. Before I Self-Destruct was released on November 9, 2009. 2010-11, New Business Ventures. In a ContactMusic.com interview, Jackson said he was working on a Eurodance album, Black Magic, inspired by European nightclubs. First they played hip-hop, which suddenly changed to up-tempo songs, known as Eurodance. He later said he had changed his next album to The Return of the Heartless Monster after writing different material when he returned home from the Invitation Tour in 2010, shelving Black Magic. On September 3, Jackson supported Eminem on his and Jay-Z's The Home and Home tour, performing Crack a Bottle with Eminem and Dr. Dre amid rumors of tension between Jackson and Dre. He recorded 20 songs to a whole different album concept, before putting them aside, wanting his new album to have the aggression of Get Rich or Die Tryin'. Jackson tweeted that the album was 80% done, and fans could expect it in the summer of 2011. It was ultimately delayed a year due to disagreements with Interscope Records, with Jackson saying that he would release it in November 2011 with a different title than Black Magic. Eminem would appear on the album, and Jackson said he was working with new producers such as Boy Wonder and Alex Da Kid. Cardiac, who produced Lloyd Banks' Started Up, confirmed that he produced a song for the upcoming album. Jackson released a song, Outlaw, from his fifth album on the internet on June 1, 2011. The single, produced by Cardiac, was released on iTunes on July 19. The rapper planned to write a semi-autobiographical young adult novel about bullying, different from his previous books which focused on his life and the rules of power. According to the book's publisher, the first-person novel was scheduled for publication in January 2012.
In a series of tweets, Jackson told that the delay of his fifth album was due to disagreements with Interscope Records, later suggesting that it would be released in November 2011. With his headphone line, he speculated to MTV News about not renewing his 5-album contract with Interscope. "I don't know. It will all be clear in the negotiations following me turning this actual album in. And, of course, the performance and how they actually treat the work will determine whether you still want to stay in that position or not." On June 20, 2011, Jackson announced the release of Before I Self-Destruct 2 after his fifth album. Although he planned to shoot a music video for the fifth album's lead single, I'm On It, on June 26, the video was never filmed. Jackson told Shade 45, "I did 4 songs in Detroit with Eminem. I did 2 with Just Blaze, a Boy Wonder joint, and I did something with Alex Da Kid. We made 2 that are definite singles. And the other 2 are the kinds of records that we've been making, more aimed at my core audience. More aggressive, more of a different kind of energy to it." He released Street King Energy track in September 2011 to promote Street King, his charity-based energy drink. An announcement that Jackson was shooting a music video for Girls Go Wild, the fifth album lead single featuring Jeremiah, was made on September 28, 2011. 2012 present, departure from Interscope. Jackson's fifth album, Street King Immortal, was initially scheduled for a summer 2012 release, and postponed until November 13. Disagreements with Interscope Records about its release and promotion led to its temporary cancellation. Its first promo singles, New Day with Dr. Dre and Alicia Keys, was released on July 27. The song was produced by Dr. Dre, mixed by Eminem, and written by 50 Cent, Alicia Keys, Roy Star 59 and Dr. Dre. A solo version by Keys was leaked by her husband, Swizz Beatz. My Life, the album's second promo singles, was released on November 26, 2012.
In January 2014, Jackson said he planned to release Animal Ambition in the first quarter of the year, followed by Street King Immortal.
On February 20, he left Shady Records, Aftermath Entertainment and Interscope, signing with Caroline Records and Capitol Records. According to Jackson, although he owed Interscope another album, he was released from his contract because of his friendship with Eminem and Dr. Dre. "I'm a special case and situation.
It's also because of the leverage of having the strong relationships with Eminem and Dr. Dre. They don't want me to be uncomfortable. They value our friendship to the point that they would never want to jeopardize it over that little bit of money." That day, he announced that Animal Ambition would be released on June 3rd, and released its first track. The song, Funeral, was released with a video on Forbes.com.
Produced by Jake One, it is a continuation of 50 Bars from a previous album. 2 more tracks were scheduled for release on March 18 at South by Southwest in Austin, Texas. Jackson performed "Hold On" from the new album. That song and "Don't Worry About It" were released with accompanying videos on March 18. According to Jackson, prosperity would be a theme of the album. "This project, I had to search for a concept. A really good concept, in my perspective, and that was prosperity. I outlined all the things that would be a part of prosperity, positive and negative, for Animal Ambition." On May 14, 2015, Jackson revealed in an interview that the first single from Street King Immortal would be previewed Memorial Day weekend and would likely be released in June. Jackson released "Get Low" on May 20, 2015, as the intended first single from his 6th studio album, Street King Immortal. The song, produced by Remo the Hitmaker, features vocals from fellow American rappers 2 Chainz and T.I., as well as American singer Jeremiah. He announced bankruptcy on July 13, 2015. On March 31, 2017, Interscope Records released 50 Cent's final album for the label, a greatest hits album titled Best Of. Artistry. Jackson cites Boogie Down Productions, Big Daddy Kane, The Juice Crew, EPMD, and KRS-One as his rapping influences, while citing Ul Cool J as an inspiration behind his writing of 21 Questions. Jackson also states that he drew influences from Nas, Rakim, and the Notorious B.I.G. while working on Animal Ambition. Business ventures. Jackson has had a highly successful business career. He is financially invested in a highly diversified variety of industries. Jackson is now involved in artist and talent management, record, television, and film production, footwear, apparel, fragrances, liquor, video games, mobile apps, book publishing, headphones, and health drinks and dietary supplements. His broad business and investment portfolio contains investments in a variety of sectors including real estate, financial market investments, mining, boxing promotion, vodka, fragrances, consumer electronics, and fashion. He established his own record label G-Unit Records in 2003 following his mainstream success. In November 2003, he signed a 5-year deal with Reebok to distribute a G-Unit sneakers line for his G-Unit clothing company. Stating in an interview regarding his vast business empire, Jackson says his businesses have a habit of doing well as he sees all of his ventures, both past and present, as revolving around his alter ego. Jackson has also started a book publishing imprint, G-Unit Books, on January 4, 2007, at the Time Warner Building in New York. He has written a number of books including a memoir, from pieces to weight in 2005, where it sold 73,000 copies in hardcover and 14,000 copies in paperback, a crime novel and a book with Robert Greene titled The 50th Law, an urban take on the 48 Laws of Power. In November 2011, Jackson released 50 Cent's Playground, a young adult fiction novel about a bullied, violent kid and his gay mom.
One of Jackson's first business ventures was a partnership with Glassery to create an enhanced water drink called Formula 50. In October 2004, Jackson became a beverage investor when he was given a minority share in the company in exchange for becoming a spokesperson after learning that he was a fan of the beverage.
The health-conscious Jackson noted that he first learned of the product while at a gym in Los Angeles, and stated that, "They do such a good job making water taste good." After becoming a minority shareholder and celebrity spokesperson, Jackson worked with the company to create a new grape-flavored, Formula 50, variant of vitamin water, and mentioned the drinks in various songs and interviews. In 2007, Coca-Cola purchased Glassery for $4.1 billion and, according to Forbes, Jackson, who was a minority shareholder, earned $100 million from the deal after taxes.
Though he no longer has an equity stake in the company, Jackson continues to act as a spokesperson for Vitamin Water, enthusiastically supporting the product, including singing about it at the BET Awards and expressing his excitement over the company's continuing to allow his input on products. He joined Right Guard to introduce a body spray and endorsed Magic Stick condoms, planning to donate part of their proceeds to increasing HIV awareness. Jackson signed a multi-year deal with Steiner Sports to sell his memorabilia, and announced plans for a dietary supplement company in conjunction with his film Spectacular Regret in August 2007.
Jackson has founded two film production companies, G-Unit Films in 2003 and Cheetah Vision in 2008. Cheetah Vision produces low-budget action thrillers for foreign film markets across the world. When G-Unit Films folded, he focused on Cheetah Vision, and the company obtained $200 million in funding in 2010. In 2010, Jackson revived G-Unit Films, renaming the company to G-Unit Films and Television Inc. The company has joint ventures with Woolpacker's production company Woolpacker Productions and Universal Television. In over 18 months, Jackson has sold projects to 6 different networks. Among them was Power, a Starz drama in which he not only co-stars, but also serves as co-creator and executive producer.
Power debuted in June 2014 and was renewed for a second season after one episode. Power's August second season finale garnered the high ratings through the season, more than doubling the premiere, and it generated 71% of the African American viewership of any scripted premium series. Since 2006, Jackson serves as a co-star, co-creator, and executive television producer of the Starz network drama, where he signed a 2-year contract with representation coming from the Agency for the Performing Arts. Ratings have been a success for Starz, with the second season premiere being the highest ever season, with 1.43 million people tuning in live.
Jackson also serves as an executive television producer for Dream School for Sundance TV, a series that follows 15 high school dropouts as they are taught by a series of celebrity teachers. In July 2011, Jackson launched a philanthropic initiative to provide food for 1 billion starving people in Africa by 2016, joining Pure Growth Partners to introduce Street King. A portion of the proceeds from each Street King purchase would be used to provide a daily meal to an underprivileged child. The partnership coincides with Jackson's goal to feed 1 billion people in Africa during the next 5 years. 50 Cent and I share a common vision to address the world's problems through smart and sustainable business models, said Chris Clark, founder and CEO of Pure Growth Partners.
With the rampant starvation in Africa and hunger afflicting children worldwide, we need socially responsible businesses that affect real change now more than ever, Jackson said. I'm inspired by Clark's vision and innovative approaches to tackling serious issues. It's our mission with Street King to really change children's lives around the world. In 2011, he founded SMS Audio, a consumer electronics company selling Street by 50 headphones, pledging to donate a portion of their sales to charity. In April 2015, SMS announced new co-branding deals with Reebok and Marvel. It added those to existing partnerships with Walt Disney Parks, Lucasfilm's Star Wars, and Intel. In 2014, Jackson became a minority shareholder in Effen Vodka, a brand of vodka produced in the Netherlands, when he invested undisclosed amount in the company Sire Spirits LLC. He currently endorses the product via his live concert performances and social media. The rapper was asked to take part in 2 promotional bottle signings, one in Oak Creek and another in Sun Prairie. Jackson made an appearance at Liquor Warehouse in Syracuse, New York on April 25, 2015, where he reportedly sold 1,400 bottles of Jackson's signature liquor brand. Liquor Warehouse's owner George Angeloro reportedly stocked 300 cases of Effen vodka, which sells for $30 a bottle, prior to the event. In December 2014, Jackson signed a $78 million deal with Frigo Revolution Wear, a luxury underwear brand. The joint venture is partnered between Jackson, basketball player Carmelo Anthony, baseball legend Derek Jeter and Matthias Ingvarsson, the former president of mattress powerhouse Tempur-Pedic. Jackson became the chief fashion designer for the brand's single pair of Frigo boxes. In April 2015, Jackson mulled investing in Jamaica, exploring foreign investment opportunities on the island when he met with some local officials and had ongoing discussions on investment opportunities in the Montego Bay resort area.
Thank you for watching. Brought to you by WikiVD Documentaries. Please like and subscribe below. Please like and subscribe below.